Everyone watching, drop your location and local time in the comments. Let's see how far this story travels. Now, picture this. It's a humid Wednesday in Chicago. In DR, Simone Washington walks in a Liberty First Bank like she owns the marble beneath her feet, which, fun fact, is imported from Italy at a price per tile that could buy you a compact car. Not that anyone's checked Craigslist lately. The security guards pretend to study the ceiling. The tellers huddle up as if plotting the world's slowest flash mob. And the air in the lobby has that spicy tension you get before either a thunderstorm or a surprise audit. Her shoes tap out a rhythm that's part Morse code, part don't mess with me. But even Simone feels the gravity. Today is not just another day for Chicago finance. The elevator hums up to the 32nd floor, giving Simone 90 seconds to rehearse her poker face. Historians still debate whether the real drama happens in elevators or boardrooms. But today's evidence might nudge the scales. She's carrying more than her battered briefcase. Inside are all the microaggressions, the backhanded compliments, and the maybe you just don't fit that every black woman in corporate America collects like unwanted stamps. Her nameplate glints beside the executive elevator, but its shine feels fragile, and nobody's offered to buff it up this morning. When the elevator doors part, the boardroom sucks the sound right out of the air. Chairman Blackwell is already practicing his steely gaze out the window, probably daydreaming about Scottish golf courses and inheritance tax loopholes. The other board members, Thompson and Patterson, give Simone the kind of welcome usually reserved for tax auditors or vegan cupcakes at a barbecue. She sits at the table's head, smooths her jacket, and simply says, "Shall we begin?" Which is probably the most terrifying phrase in modern business after "your mic is still on." It's barely 2 minutes before the trap is sprung. Anonymous complaints, whispered doubts about her cultural fit, and veiled digs about social messaging instead of banking tradition. Simone keeps her cool, flipping through the file like it's last week's supermarket circular, asking pointedly for specific examples because everyone knows that anonymous complaints at a bank are about as reliable as a vending machine in a blackout. Patterson and Thompson fumble their lines. Blackwell throws around phrases like family values and tradition, apparently forgetting that Simone's leadership has delivered the best financial results since the 90s, back when dial-up internet was the height of modern banking. But today isn't about numbers. It's about power. And the old guard is holding on to theirs like it's the last free donut in the break room. They make it official termination, effective immediately, with the kind of golden parachute that's really more of a gold-plated gag order. Simone is supposed to take her severance, sign the NDA, and vanish. But she only smiles, records every word, and calmly points out that, by federal law, she'll need to oversee a transition. That's when things start to slip Blackwell's mask, the board's confidence, and the whole idea that this would be a routine firing. Security guards wait outside, but Simone isn't done yet, and no one in that room has any idea what's about to hit them. Little do they know, history might someday call this the boardroom boomerang. The instant Simone's calm starts to fray their nerves, the boardroom begins to feel less like a chamber of commerce and more like a pressure cooker one where the timer's about to go off and nobody can remember if they left the gas on. Outside the glass walls, a ripple of tension runs through the staff. Phones appear in pockets. Curious faces peer in, and, somewhere in the background, a junior analyst probably bets $5 on how many minutes until the first hashtag drops. Social media, like a caffeinated squirrel, moves fast, and soon the bank's name is trending for all the wrong reasons. Historians still argue whether revolutions start in the streets or online. But here, you can practically smell the digital gasoline. Simone's allies begin to gather. Patricia Chun from HR bursts in, tablet in hand, legal counsel on speed dial, and a look that says, "I'd rather be at jury duty." She starts quoting employment statutes so fast. Even the board's eyes glaze over Thompson, tries to wave her off. But it's like shooing a tornado with a dinner napkin. Meanwhile, the crowd outside the boardroom swells. Marcus Rodriguez from Commercial Lending, Sarah Kim from the Trust Department, even Dr. Amamira Hassan from International Banking. All watching, all documenting, all very much not returning to their desks. Blackwell, visibly sweating, orders security to clear the area. Big mistake. The optics spiral. Security moving on concerned employees. Phones recording every fumble. The kind of viral moment PR firms use as horror stories in PowerPoints. And just as the board's confidence reaches its melting point, the elevator dings again. Sarah Chun, feared civil rights attorney, strides in with a legal team and a pair of banker's boxes that look suspiciously heavy with doom. At the same moment, every board member's phone erupts with emails from Federal Regulator Securities and Exchange Commission, Federal Reserve, Illinois banking authorities, all notified of a potential discriminatory firing. Sarah Chin's voice slices through the chaos as she drops a bombshell. Not only was Simone's termination a legal minefield, but every word, every microaggression, every threat has been recorded. Illinois is a one-party consent state. In case you ever need to know, the board scrambles for a foothold, but the real earthquake hasn't hit. From the banker's box, Sarah produces stock certificates and legal documents. Turns out, Dr. Simone Washington is not just Liberty First CEO, is, through a family trust, the bank's largest shareholder, controlling 35% of the company's equity, the daughter of a civil rights icon. Her legal and financial claim over Liberty First makes firing her about as simple as ejecting the queen from a chessboard mid-game. The air in the boardroom is now thick enough to slice. And the realization dawns: this isn't just a battle for Simone's job. It's an existential crisis for the entire institution. The employees outside, many of whom Simone hired, are cheering and sharing updates at the speed of light, while the board's best-laid plans unravel faster than a discount sweater in a spin cycle. One quirky tidbit somewhere in the chaos. A staffer tries to order lunch for everyone, but the only available menu is a gluten-free vegan taco truck. Historians will forever debate if this choice doomed morale or saved the day. Meanwhile, inside, the board faces the facts. Their routine firing just triggered a federal investigation, an employee revolt, and the exposure of deep-seated bias, all captured on camera for the world to see. The old guard's era is officially on life support, and the only question left is who pulls the plug. The story doesn't pause for anyone's dignity, not even the suits around the boardroom table within days. Liberty First Bank is thrust into the spotlight. Media vans circling like caffeinated ducks on bread day. Customers and activists outside waving signs that say things like "Justice for Dr. Washington" and "Bank on Dignity." Simone's removal attempt detonates across Chicago's financial world and beyond, and the phrase "cultural fit" gets dissected on talk shows, legal blogs, and, inevitably, at someone's uncle's barbecue. Historians still debate whether the bank's sudden embrace of community values was real repentance or just spectacular PR triage. But there's no denying the era of closed doors and whispered bias is on its way out. 6 months later, the transformation is impossible to ignore. The once stuffy boardroom now free from the heavy stink of panic sweat hosts meetings in which voices sound different, lighter, and undeniably more varied. The oil painting founders on the wall are joined by new photos, scholarship winners, first-time homeowners, neighborhood entrepreneurs. Simone, standing by those panoramic windows, addresses a crowd for the bank's first annual community summit. Her message is clear, playful, and unrelenting. Change may be uncomfortable, but stagnation is fatal. And, for the record, the coffee is finally good. One attendee still brings their own oat milk, Just in case. Marcus Rodriguez, now VP of Community Development, has a running bet with Sarah Kim, Senior Trust Officer, about whether the next meeting will feature jazz or hip-hop in the elevator. Meanwhile, Dr. Hassan, Head of International Banking, quietly launches a program connecting local immigrants with business loans, one small move that soon becomes a city-wide model. Simone's original troublemakers are now her leadership team, and the bank's stats sparkle. Loans to minority businesses soar, employee retention breaks records, and even the Christmas party has a waiting list for karaoke. But beneath all the metrics, a harder truth lingers. Meaningful change means more than posters and press releases. Industry old-timers mutter that the pendulum will swing back, while fresh voices argue that dignity and opportunity shouldn't be trends theory basic requirements, like proper accounting or, say, not firing the person who literally owns the company. A quirky debate still rages about who started the hashtag #YouBelongHere. Some say it was Marcus. Others credit Simone's teenage niece on TikTok. Either way, the message is now etched across every welcome mat and LinkedIn page the bank touches. As the bank's transformation ripples outward, business schools use Liberty First as a case study, while compliance officers everywhere update their what not to do slides. Some insiders still wonder if Simone's victory is permanent or if powerful systems will just find subtler ways to resist. But for now, her story is more than just a personal win. It's a blueprint, a warning, and a rallying cry for anyone told they don't belong. The evening sun slants through Simone's office, turning glass and steel to gold, softening the once harsh edges of her world. She sits quietly, surrounded by thank you notes and photos of families smiling in front of new homes. The city's pulse slowing as streetlights flicker to life below. The headlines and legal battles have faded, leaving behind a gentle, hush space to breathe, to dream, to remember that even the largest institutions are shaped by courage, not just capital. For every viewer still listening, let this be a slow exhale. The world may change at its own uneven pace, but dignity yours, Mine, every once remains worth defending, even on the hardest days. Let tonight settle softly around you, a reminder that what we build with integrity outlasts even the loudest storms. Quiet now, as the city quiets to your story, like Simone's, is still unwritten, and there's always a place for you at the table.